Well, hello and welcome. Welcome to my world, folks. Welcome to Talk to Leadership with Cedrick. Everybody needs a little TLC, and I am Cedrick LaFleur, your host, and I'm excited to be here with you tonight. It is a great day to be alive and to be on Talk to Leadership with Cedrick. This is where we focus on leadership and personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. Our guiding leadership principle is the law of consistency, which says motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you going and growing. So you have to develop the good habits that lead to success. Now, just showing up is 80% of success. See, some people just don't show up. You can beat them out pretty easily by just consistently showing up. The boss, Bruce Springsteen himself, said, a time comes when you need to stop waiting for the man or woman you want to become and start being the man or woman that you want to be. So tonight we have two dynamic guests who's been consistently showing up, and we're going to have a great conversation with them tonight. So, every week I like to do a proper introduction of my guests. So let me do a proper introduction of my guests. So first of all, we have Miss Tiersa Hall, who is a certified speaker coach with the John Maxwell team and a certified master trainer with the Association of Talent Management. She also serves primarily as an HR director and a group strategy consultant for a string of luxury resorts in the Turks and the Caicos Islands. She's the owner of Impactful Imprints LLC. I love that name, right? It's an organization designed to help leaders make their mark through building impactful relationships through training, coaching, workshops, and keynotes. Tiersa has worked as an HR and a hospitality professional with a master's degree in human resource management with a concentration in marketing for over 15 years. She is a certified hospitality trainer with the American Hotel and Lodging Education Institute. She's a member of Society of HR Professionals, SHRM, and she's a country coordinator for the Turks and Caicos Islands for the Caribbean Society of Human Resource Professionals. She is a wife, a mother, and a woman of faith, and a proud advocate for families living with autism. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Cedrick. It's a pleasure to be here. And I just want to take this opportunity to say I'm so amazed and proud of what you're doing. And I just want to applaud you on your efforts and really not just doing what you do to be successful, but passing that baton on to others to continue to grow, which is leadership in its truest form.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thank you. I'm excited for you to be on the show tonight. And we have with us also Mr. Jerome Scales. He's having a little bit of a problem with his camera, but I'm going to bring him up. So Jerome Scales is the founder, or Pastor Jerome Scales is the founder of Make Positive Movements. I promise, folks, you're going to get to see Pastor Buddy tonight. Life can be seriously hard, he says, but let's lift some of life's heaviness with a light-hearted presence and world-class training. Pastor Buddy offers relevant yet entertaining workshops, seminars, and keynote speaking to aid your personal and professional growth. Working alongside you, he is committed to nudging you and your teams toward dealing with challenges and striving for creative solutions. While countless individuals and families have been aided during their short-term, indescribable predicaments, Pastor Buddy has felt a profound yearning to provide a deeper, lifelong positive impact that can be adopted, and replicated. Determined to understand the obstacles faced by many, he began training, teaching, and coaching people all over the United States to reach for the best possible options in their life. So let's welcome Pastor Buddy to the show. right.
hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello.
Awesome. We're excited to have both of you on the show. And um, so, I read each of your bios and a little bit about you. But our audience really loves to hear from you about your journey to leadership and how did you get to where you are today. So we'll start with Ms. Hall. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I mean, I always say in terms of leadership, I've always been a very outspoken person, and my mom would always say, you're going to be a lawyer, and I thought that that's what it was, but later I found out that I really just had a desire and a passion for leadership, and so obviously growing in a hospitality environment, starting very fresh. I started with my first HR role at 21 years old, so I was literally thrown into an environment where I managed that entire property of 90 employees on a 4-star resort. And trust me, it was definitely a good learning curve because I had to learn from a leader. And from that opportunity, I think some of the best ways to learn in terms of leadership is to actually get in and do it, not just get a hand holding process, but to really just dive right in. And so I am so grateful that, at a younger age, you were able to, when you're most energetic and you're most excited about the experience, to jump in and really just make a difference. And from there, I had the benefit of growing gradually. So starting off with 90 employees, one property, then I got a second property that took me to about 300 and something employees. And then I got another property. That's when I stepped into directorship. And now we're overseeing a total of 600 plus employees. So that's been a great blessing to be able to add value and to be able to see people that you started with grow and become leaders in their own right and go out and become HR directors at other properties. And so it's just been a blessing. Leadership is a gift that just keeps on giving.
Absolutely. I love that. So Pastor Buddy, you gotta bring it now. She done brought it already.
My goodness, man, that was rough, man. Well, my life is a little bit different, and I really appreciate what you shared with us. That is amazing. I want to come work for you. Good Lord. But I guess my journey to leadership, it's been somewhat of a rough one because I had a lot to learn. I had a lot to learn. And my father being a pastor, and he was a great leader. I was not like my dad. And my dad, he's retired now, and he still pulls me to the side and says, "Okay, tell me, what was you thinking about?" So, I guess as it relates to this whole life of trying to be a leader, it's always something that you're learning. It's always something that you're trying to become. And for me, I heard God make that call, and I went chasing after it and didn't know what to do because seminary doesn't teach you how to be a leader. And I'm gonna tell you how I found out how I can be a leader. I went to this little class that they gave me, and they said, "Now come here. I want you to hold this, hold this." And I'm like, "What's this? What's this?" They said, "Come on, just stand over here, stand over here." They said, "Just hold this, hold this. Okay, do this, this, and this." I said, "Okay, I got it, I got it." And then they pushed me out, and I said, "What is this?" They said, "A parachute." It was, yeah. My life into leadership was more like a parachute drop, So that's how it started out for me, guys.
Awesome.
Wow. Well, Paul Martinelli normally says jump and build your wings on the way down. So
That's right.
that's the way you do it, right?
Yes.
So tell us, for the audience to really get to know you and embrace you, they need to know, like, and trust people. That's what happens with people. So tell us something interesting or fun about yourself. So Pastor Buddy, I'll start with you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, what's good about me, or what's interesting, I guess, is I try to find something funny every day.
I love it. I love it.
I
Okay.
do. I do. I seek it out. I look for something funny every day. And I think that our life and our world is getting so serious. about everything. Right now, I'm afraid to walk out the house and say anything to anybody. I just want to walk past everybody and not speak. Just
right, yeah.
That's the only way I'm gonna stay out of prison. I don't want to say anything, you know. So,
Yeah.
but for me, going out and find something funny to laugh at, and then look at what I just saw and say, now, how do I take this and share it into a person's life over here? So that's what I spend most of my day. So that's kind of one of the things. Another thing that's interesting that I like. I like to get on my wife's nerves. Does that count?
Okay. Okay. All right. Well,
does that count? I don't know. I have a lovely wife and kids. I have 4 children. I have 1 daughter that's about to go to college here soon, and so we've been going through that whole process of trying to figure that out. I have no idea how to do this. Okay, so if you guys have some pointers, I'll be glad to take those too. So.
Okay, all right. Well, you know, both my kids have already graduated from college, so
yeah,
been down that road. So, Ms. Hall, tell us something interesting and fun about yourself.
Okay, I think what's very fun about me, and it kind of ties in a little bit to what you shared, Pastor, but I am a huge football fan. NFL, college,
Okay.
you name it. Go Steelers. Shout out to all the Steelers.
Oh, all right. I knew this was a perfect meeting. All right.
But I mean, I love football, and you know, football, just as you said, you know, life is so serious, and there's just so many things that are stressful or depressing. And I find this football just lifts my spirit. Sometimes it gives me a little bit of a cardiac arrest at times, but other times it's just really uplifting. And what I find about football and sports in general is it connects people at all walks of life, every religion, different cultures. And so I'm just excited. Shout out to the U up there, because I'm also a Hurricane fan. I'm an alumni, University of Miami.
Well, you know, you can't win them all. Roll Tide, baby.
But, you know, I find that you have to find joy in life. And I think, you know, as you said, you know, finding joy, but also finding contentment. And no matter what you're facing, you know, we face a lot of things in this life. But to find a place that makes you happy, and to be genuine and who I am, who you see, this is me all day. I just love life, and I only want to see the positive, and I only want to put forward the positive. So I think that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. I like that. You know, definitely. I love that she started off, Pastor, with Go Steelers. You know that. You know, I'm a diehard, so you know. That's awesome. Yes. So what's your favorite thing that you like about your current city? Ms. Hall, why don't you go first on that?
Well, I kind of bounce back and forth. I'm here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I bounce back between here and Turks and Caicos. So in terms of the city, I think what I like most about it is obviously the warm weather, because that's familiar to me. Even though today it was the first day where that little bit of niffiness starting to kick in.
So you know what that means, Pastor? That was like it was 60 degrees for them.
It was like
exactly. But I like that it's close to home as well. It's close to, you know, I'm an island girl, grew up in Turks and Caicos. So just being close to there is a great thing. But you know, the city life, you know, people in Florida, they're pretty cool people to be around. They're very interesting drivers, but totally cool to be around. So that's what I like about the city.
Okay. All right. I like that. I'll take that. Pastor, you in Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee. I have not been to Graceland yet.
You mean you haven't been over there seeing walking in Memphis?
Nope. I've driven by and yelled at people, but I've never been inside. But I think that mostly what I enjoy about Memphis is you can call it home. People are always talking and laughing. There's bad stuff anywhere, you know. But there's some really, really good people here in Memphis. I mean, some really good people and down home loving people. Me and Cedrick was just tripping just a few minutes ago. I don't know if you can say tripping on a string. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you did now.
It's too late now.
My dump button is not working, so
yeah. We were talking about Gus's chicken, and I know we just talking
Ooh.
about chicken, and we were talking about how we both had an experience with it, and I was telling him about, I was near the original store, and he told me about him going out of his way to get some, and we connected over that. So yeah, it's the food, it's the family, the friends, all of that. It's just a great place to be. Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys are both a part of the John Maxwell team, right? And
Mhm.
you guys are both newer members of the John Maxwell team. So what made you decide to join the John Maxwell team?
I'll
You
go
want me to go
first on that
first?
one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go first on that one. Now, when in the last maybe 4 or 5 months, I'll say, I realized that I didn't have certain answers to certain questions. Um, so one day I was walking down the street, and
I think you're on mute now. I can hear you.
I think my mic just went crazy. Pray for my soul, y'all. Let's get low real quick. Let's but, but yeah, I don't know. Some weird things are just happening. But anyway, so as I'm going through this, trying to understand this life and trying to understand how to be a leader, and not really having the real training for it. I'm talking about being a leader as a pastor,
Mhm.
okay?
Mhm.
And it's different than being the leader of a corporation, because you have to lead with love. And so I always felt like there was something more that I should be doing, and I just wasn't. I just felt like there was more that I should know. And I have this thinking in my thoughts, or in my understanding of life, is that you don't know what you don't know. You just
Right.
don't know, right? And so, and what you don't know can cause you a struggle in your life. And so I was on sabbatical, I was laying before God, trying to figure out what I was going to do with the next, because I had done 20, 21, 22 years in ministry, and I'm like, there's still something missing, something's not right. And so I'm laying before God, trying to figure it out. Tears coming down my eyes. I'm trying to cry with the tears. I can't get it to work right, All my faculties not acting right, And so I'm in a hotel room, and I'm just, Lord, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I started listening to a podcast, the John Maxwell podcast. And I was sitting there listening to Mark Cole and Richard Chancey, and they were talking about blind spots. And when they were talking about blind spots, it hit me in such a way that I then realized what was missing. I needed information from somebody, or from another entity that wasn't a part of my immediate circle. Something that was outside of, because I think I tapped out everything in Memphis. I'm not saying that there's not information here in Memphis, but there's times when you have to go beyond what you're used to try to find that information. And so
Mhm.
that's what I did. And so with my life, things were just not fitting. And then COVID happens, and it just messes everything up. And so then I went looking for this new information, and I found out that John Maxwell had all of this information, 77 some odd books. And I probably had read half of one, and I was just trying to figure out what next, God, what next, God. So this is where things start to change. As I started listening to Mark Cole, Richard Chancey, and John Maxwell, I started to realize that God has people outside of your immediate circle who have answers that will answer your questions, you know.
Mhm.
And I didn't have to quit. I didn't have to throw my computer through the glass. I didn't have to do any of those things. I might have wanted to, but I didn't have to, because God was showing me, okay, I've brought you through all of these things, and everything that I've been through, I can honestly say everything that I've been through has been something that I can use right now in this business. Everything that I've gone through, every argument, every hard interaction, every good day, every laugh. I call myself going to be a graphic designer one time. Shoot, I was going well, messed around, and I was doing good. I was editing stuff and I was throwing it out. Pop, pop, pop. I was doing great. I did all of those things. And then I got to a point where I hit a wall and I was like, well, God, I have all this talent, this skill, this ability, but I don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
John Maxwell comes along and everything starts to fall in place. Everything falls in place. I'm able to put together my own adverts. I'm able to put together my own internet stuff. I'm able to do all of those things because God put me in a position to learn all that stuff before I got to John Maxwell. But I had to go through all of the hell in order to get to the place where I am now.
Wow.
Does that count?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, Ms. Hall, tell us, why did you decide to join? What made you decide to join the John Maxwell team?
Well, I'll definitely say this. I think my joining the John Maxwell team was definitely different in the sense that I've always heard of John Maxwell, but I had never read any of his books. So I was like really not that aware. Some people in my circles kind of explored that, but I still didn't know what it entailed. I was actually working on my certification to be a master trainer, and my instructor, who I spent some time talking to after. Her name's Emmy Monticelli. Shout out to Emmy if you're watching. She said to me, because I was just asking again for insight in terms of growing and, basically launching my company and talking about training and doing these things that I'm so passionate about. And she said, you look like you have the DNA. And I was like, DNA? What DNA? She was like, the JMT DNA. I was like, JMT DNA? I was still lost. And she was like, John Maxwell. And so she showed me on her profile. I remember reading it, but she kind of reminded me that she was actually a John Maxwell member. She works for ATD, but she was a John Maxwell member. And she said, that personality, that drive, the passion that she saw during our sessions was just really, on par with that. And so joining it was like a eye-opener. I researched it after, and what I noticed is, there's a lot of businesses and organizations out there, but in terms of really helping build the entrepreneur and really help pouring into you and really giving you that insight, that edge, it really revealed that, the difference between the real players and the pretenders are really just having the insight and having that knowledge. And so just as Pastor Bud said, soon as I got that information, everything just started to line right up. Yeah. And it was like, this is destiny. And so I feel like even with John Maxwell and faith, I feel like it ties in so deeply that who you are, you discover that in the journey of just joining.
Yeah. Did you get that feeling that you were around other people who thought the way you were thinking?
Yes. Inclusion, like, oh my goodness, finally somewhere that everyone kind of feels like doing.
Yes, absolutely. I just like, I felt that way. I just felt like I was around people who were at least going the same direction. That was, it was amazing experience.
Being around people who are intentionally trying to grow themselves, who are intentionally trying to change their life, not just talking about it, but actively seeking to do it.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it makes all the difference in the world. So tell us a little bit about your business. Ms. Hall, tell us about your business and what are you doing in the leadership development space?
Well, I like to say, because I'm a multifaceted human. So my business is definitely multifaceted and it's still growing, which is exciting just to seeing it evolve. But obviously, as a John Maxwell coach trainer, obviously leadership is one of the things that I definitely do. I really have a passion for young leaders, meaning those leaders that kind of just grew from supervisor to manager, or for persons who have not grown yet but need those core foundational skills, because you see in the working field that, you know, a lot of people get promoted sometimes from supervisor to manager, not because they had the leadership skills, but because they were good at the physical task of what they do. And so trying to change the concept, the mindset of organizations to really try to build leaders from young. I mean, even from as far as kids, but most importantly, if you're already in the organization, building from the level that it's currently on. So that's always so important, you know, to do.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So Pastor Buddy, what about you? Tell us a little bit more about your business.
Well, Make Positive Movement, it's a strange story how it came about. And I got to put this in here because I don't want to get beat up tonight. So the idea for Make Positive Movement actually came from my wife, to be honest. She is the one who brought this idea up. We were sitting around one day and we were talking about why is it that for my people, or people, even people of faith, why are we, shall I say, why are we always reactive? Whenever something's going on, we're reacting. You know, it's like we never know anything's happening, or we never know anything's that, you know, that the Titanic is about to run into an iceberg. Okay.
Yeah.
Why do we have to wait for it to hit the iceberg before we do something? Right.
Right.
So that's what me and my wife were talking about. And she actually was the one who came up with the idea. And so since then it has kind of changed a lot. But the idea was, how do we help people make decisions on the front end so that they can have a better life? Because we've learned stuff already, you know. How can we give you information so that you can be better, you know, without you having to be in a reaction or be reactive to the things that's going on in life? How can we make you proactive? All right. And so that's how we came up with Make Positive Movement. Now, my friend, he's the one who came up with the tagline. He's the one who came, make your next move your best move. Now, I know y'all might not know what that is, but that's usually what you say before you start a fight. But the fact is, but the fact is, it's still true. Whatever your next move is going to be, make it the best move. And so what we've been doing, and April, my wife, has really been helping me out a lot with this. We've been we do more individual work with individuals, and spending time with them and sharing with them, giving them coaching, life coaching. And then also we're trying to expand it out so that even though I'm going to be providing classes, I'm hoping to always keep those classes as small and intimate as possible, because I have a need to know the individual. I need to be able to know the individual. And so it's not a recipe for billions of dollars, but it allows me to wake up in the morning and be excited about it.
Yes.
That we are able to help someone be better for their life. So that's kind of how Make Positive Movement came about. It probably wasn't really the question.
No, it was perfect. Right.
Yeah.
And connecting with people is important. You know, everyone communicates, but few connect.
You connect.
Yes, trying to connect with people, right? Yeah. So that is that's definitely important. So when you think back about your decision to join John Maxwell team or even start a business, what was it that made you say, you know what, I want to become an entrepreneur and I want to jump and build my wings on the way down? So Pastor Buddy, you want to start with that one first?
Oh goodness, give me the question one more time.
Yeah, what made you decide to become an entrepreneur?
This is gonna sound funny, but it's the truth. Have you ever got a bill from the job you was working
No, I should be getting a check from.
I got a bill one day, and I was like, wait, how that work?
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, I tell you, some of the most loving people in the world. I have come into contact with by far some of the nicest people in the world, and I just throwing some of those names out there: Arleta Blair, Stella Davis, Vernice Carnes, J.C. Carnes, Sakorsha Golden, Breck Howard, all of those people, Justin Wilson, all those people, just by far the nicest people in the world. I had to get to a point where I had to understand what you said in another podcast, Cedrick. You can't help everybody.
Right.
Mm.
I always had the mentality that as a pastor, I'm supposed to help everybody.
Mm.
But then I had to learn that Jesus says, feed my sheep. My dad taught me that he didn't say feed the goats.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that, just like you were saying earlier, Cedrick, we may have been offline when you said this, but there's multiple McDonald's, there's multiple Wendy's, there's multiple restaurants around the city so that people can go to what fits their needs.
Right.
Well, as a pastor, you can't reach and touch everybody, and you can't fill everybody's needs. And I had to learn that whenever I come in contact with people, if I get to a position where we're not able to really mesh, it's not for me to be the one to teach you. Right. That doesn't make me any less. That doesn't make you any less. That just means that we don't mix. So I had to learn. That was why positive movement became important, because in the local church, there's only so much I can do without harm. I don't want to bring harm. When people want to grow, but they need to grow slowly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to bring harm. So I have all this pent up energy, and I'm like jumping like this. I'm like, let's go. Why are you going so slow? Let's go. I had to learn that I had to rein that in and allow them to grow however that they are able to grow. But then I use this make positive movement as a way for me to use that extra energy, that extra pop, where I can just kind of be myself. I can laugh, I can cry, I can run off at the mouth, and there won't be any problems until my wife comes. So anyway, well,
I'll tell you what, you're gonna be in trouble when you get out.
I'm already in trouble, Doc. No. I love you, baby.
So, Ms. Hall, what about yourself? What made you decide to become an entrepreneur?
Well, I will say this, that the idea of being an entrepreneur was never one for me. So I think maybe for someone out there who is now embarking on entrepreneurship, or maybe you're telling yourself that's not for you. Not everyone starts out really like starting off making these little small businesses here and there. Some people realize entrepreneurship based on what their passion is and their desire to see it move forward. But I think for me, it's really been, my value for family. I have 6-year-old twins. That's them kind of, you could see a little bit of their head right there. They're 6 years old and they are autistic. And so finding the way, being a career parent, a career mom, finding a way to not only be myself, which is really just being in the career world and being in the business world and connecting and seeing people and wanting to connect and talk to them, but also being able to balance family and really do something that is tied into my passion, but also towards creating a better world for my daughter. And so I think for me, that has really pushed me into this entrepreneurial, because it's two different worlds. It's the things that you do. And for many years, I've been pouring into people and adding value, but not from a business perspective, just because it's what I love to do. And now seeing the need to give more time to that is connecting the two worlds. And so that's the journey of entrepreneurship and really learning what it's all about. And that's just been exciting to do.
Wow, that is awesome and phenomenal. Initially, when I thought you were about to say that you had 6 sets of twins, and I was like,
you got nervous.
Not be on here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, whoa,
6 sets. Goodness gracious. We love the babies. We love the babies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
but to the quintuplet moms out there, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So, we have a segment on the show called Would You Rather? And so it's time for us to play a little round of Would You Rather. Now, audience, you can always participate in Would You Rather. And what you would do is you will just put your response in the comment section and we'll put those up on the screen. So you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right. So would you rather meet your great-grandchildren or your great-grandparents? So Ms. Hall, you go first.
I would definitely rather meet my great-grandchildren, because I could say I'm blessed to have I had my great-grandparents in my life for a short while. So, and everything that I've ever been taught is about family and tradition. So I know a lot about them, even if I wasn't around to see them. But I would love to see my great-grandkids, because I would love to know and see the things that carry on, because genetics is so interesting. The skills, the natural abilities, they just pass on, and you don't know whether it's going to be yours or it's going to be your partner's. And so the excitement of just figuring out and seeing what happens is something I would love to do.
Awesome. All right, Pastor Hall, Pastor Buddy.
Let me see. I think I'd go the other way. I would want to see the grandparents. There's some holes in my family. I need to figure out what's going on.
Okay. You want to understand?
I need to know. I got some issues. I need to know what's going on.
Okay. All right. So, Pastor Buddy, would you rather have $1 million or 1 million friends?
$1 million or 1 million friends.
Yes.
$1 million.
$1 million. Okay. All right.
That's right.
All right.
I can't handle more than about 3 or 4 friends. So
okay. All right. I got you. Right. Ms. Hall, would you rather be the smartest person or the funniest person?
Oh, that's hard. But I definitely, man, that's hard. Ooh, the Libra in me is buzzing now, because I'm literally like this right now. It's totally scaling. The smartest or the funniest? Ooh, that is hard. But I'm gonna go with smart, only because I know that it's naturally in me to add value. And so if I have more knowledge, that means I'm passing it on to someone and making a difference. But trust me, a sense of humor goes a long way.
Yes. But you're saying I'm putting that aside. I don't want to be funny. I want to be smart.
I got Pastor Buddy there. Why do I need to be funny?
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Yes, absolutely. So would you rather fly to the moon or be invisible, Ms. Hall?
Fly to the moon or be invisible?
Yes.
Ooh, I think I'm not interested in the moon. Sorry, moon. So yeah, I'd rather be invisible.
Invisible?
I just love people, love trying to figure them out. And so being invisible gives me extra insight. So I'm cool with that.
Okay. All right. So would you, Pastor Buddy, would you rather share a room with your sibling or live alone?
Live alone.
Yeah.
Shade.
Y'all make sure she's not on here.
It's too late now. So you done already did it.
Sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't
put your wife out, you done put your friends out, and you done put your sister out.
Going to doghouse tonight.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Hey, the Bible says speak the truth and speak it ever. So I guess you're speaking the truth tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
You gonna get me shot. Why are you asking me these kind of questions?
All right. So both of you, would you rather own a private island or your own private island or your own private jets? Anyone first?
Oh, that's an easy one for me.
Ooh,
What is that?
Oh man, a private island, man. All day long. I wouldn't buy clothes.
All right.
Hey,
Oh man, your members are gonna be
Pray for my soul. Pray for me.
private island for me only because private jets are, again, you're not connected with people, and I like
Yeah.
to be around people and get to know people, and so
Oh yeah, there will be people on the island. I forgot about that.
he's thinking private for me and private island.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
exactly.
He didn't say private island, did he? All right. I'm sorry.
Exactly. So, all right. So, a couple more here. Would you rather be a hitchhiker or pick one up?
Hitchhiker, because at
Hitchhiker?
least I know what I'm getting into and I'm ready to defend myself rather than picking someone else up that I have to be driving and they can get the upper hand on me. So
Right. I agree with you on that one.
Okay. All right. All right. So the last one for both of you. Would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money?
$1 million in Amazon gift cards or
$100,000 in real money.
I would be willing to get the 100. Did you say $100,000 in gift cards?
No, 1 million in gift cards, 100,000 in real money.
Oh yeah, I know somebody who know how to flip them cards. So I want the gift cards. I want the cards.
you got the hustle right down pat.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to know how to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I see that. Well, you can do almost everything with Amazon money now. You can buy
Right. You
groceries,
can do
you
anything
can
with the gift
gift
card.
it to people. It's a wonderful gift that blesses
Right.
people
Yeah.
and they get excited, even if it's $20. So I
But
totally
you can
see
grocery
why
shop
that's a
too.
good option.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
also it has a tendency for you to not think about yourself
Right.
because it's
Right.
already in gift card form. So you're kind of like thinking, who can I give that to? Rather
Right.
than the money is like, oh, bruh, I got so many bills. I have this I need to do. So that tends to make you lean more towards the selfish angle. So I'm with you. I'm going for the Amazon cards.
Yeah, go for
Yeah.
the
So,
cards. Go for the cards.
Miss
No
Sawyer.
taxes with those cards. Someone
Yeah,
said,
yeah, no
yes.
taxes. And she said Amazon
Very
better not
good,
go out of
boy.
business.
That's true. That's true. Always a catch-22.
Yeah,
Always.
absolutely. Well, thank you guys for playing that round of Would You Rather.
It was fun.
So now let's get to some serious business here. We know that
Right.
leaders come in all different types of packages with different strengths, right? So, Ms. Hall, tell us, what strengths do you feel are important for successful leaders to have?
First one out of my box is you have to be genuine. You're not going to lead someone effectively if you're not genuine about what you say, genuine about what you do. And you have to have a passion, don't just choose something to be a business owner or to make money. If your primary goal is to make money, you're already on the wrong track. You have to be invested in what you do because money and everything else in life goes up and down and up and down. So I would say the first one is you got to be passionate. You got to be genuine. You got to surround yourself. You don't have to know everything, but you got to surround yourself with people that do. And I think that's the biggest thing that you need to be aware of. You have to have people in your circle that are doing more than what you are doing. I think John Maxwell said, environment, changing your environment, meaning who's around you, and changing yourself it's a fast track to success.
Yeah.
If you just change who you are and you don't change your environment, you're going to get there way later in the game. So definitely surround yourself with people that know more or know something that you don't know already.
Yes.
And that's the main ones I think are the most important.
Awesome. I like that. Pastor Buddy, so tell us, what strengths do you believe successful leaders need to have?
These are by experience.
Okay.
And so I think first one is got to be resilient. And I know that we play with that word often, but it's true that in the world that we're in, where morals and values are in the air, you have to be able to be resilient. And you have to be able to take a few risks. And you have to be willing to take quite a few risks. And you have to be able to become friends with a guy named mistakes.
Yes.
And you have to also be reliant. People need to be able to rely on you. You have to be relational. Nobody wants to be connected to somebody that never wants to talk to anybody.
Preach.
And then the last one, you got to be respectful of God.
Hey. Preaching it out, Pastor.
Come on now. Come on. Hey, I'm sorry. We almost jumped off right there, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey.
But I say those things because those are the things that are most important to me.
Yes.
I think that people sometimes leave out the last one, being respectful of God.
Mm-hmm.
If God gave you the gifts, the talents, the ability to do this, be respectful of it.
Yes,
absolutely. Because we're servants before we are beggars. We're servants.
Yes.
And so I want to always be in line with, am I being respectful of what God is doing? And I think that as a leader, when you're being respectful of God, then you treat people the best way you know how.
Mm-hmm.
They may not be receiving of how you treat them, or they may not understand that being nice is actually authentic. Like you were saying, authenticity is important.
Yes.
But in the world we live in, authenticity, people are confused by sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so we have to continue being respectful of God by being authentically loving of people. And just kind of let things fall where they may sometimes.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. That's awesome. So Ms. Hall, tell us, sometimes new entrepreneurs want to give up. They want to throw in the towel. They decided that some time ago that they wanted to be an entrepreneur. However, things are not as rosy as they thought. They opened their doors and thousands of people were coming to buy their product or service, and they find that they get a bill from someone saying, I went there, you didn't do what I want, so I'm gonna charge you now. But what advice would you give someone who is right now questioning whether they should give up or not?
Well, I will definitely say what I've learned having gone through so many conferences, and definitely this last IMC conference at the John Maxwell, is nothing good comes easy. The most successful people have gone through the journey of having difficult times, and so you have to know that and see that that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Amen. I like that.
Amen.
I like that. So Pastor Hall, knowing what you know now,
mm-hmm.
Is there anything you would have done differently when you first started, versus when you first started your business?
Heck yeah.
Give us a couple of those examples.
I would have done a lot of things differently. I think that I would have been more patient in the beginning, being patient with people. Spend a little bit more time listening than moving. But I have to also say that those things have also helped me. I would have wanted to do those things differently, but I also realized that if it had not happened the way that it did, I would not have learned the lessons that I've learned. I think those lessons have taught me to be more of a listener.
Okay.
And I think listening is so important in our community right now.
Yeah.
Being able to hear people, because I think our society is dying because people feel as though they're not being heard.
Yes, so
And
true.
then when we do hear them, some people don't want to hear what they have to say. We don't like it. So
And listening is a gift, right? It's not
it is a
something
gift.
that everyone possesses. And so, as leaders, we have to lean into those areas that we know need developing, and
Right.
that we need to be the full package, that whole deliverance.
Mhm.
If we can master those areas that we aren't good at, we're reaching more people and making a greater impact.
Right.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
100% agree with you. So, each of you, what I want you to do is just give us one, maybe two things that you've learned about yourself from becoming a business owner. And we'll start with Ms. Hall.
I think one thing I've learned about myself through this journey is that, as I mentioned before, being an entrepreneur wasn't something that I set out to do. But after having gone through the steps and have started it and just gone through the process, I realized that anyone can be an entrepreneur. You just have to be
Mhm.
committed. You just have to be consistent, and you have to be dedicated to what it is, and tying it into your passion and deliberate. You have to be deliberate about it. It's not about what's going to happen someday or what's going to happen one day, or I wish I could, or I would like to. Once you've committed to it, then everything else falls in place. And too often we just wait for the right time or the right environment, and we wait for the right things to line up.
Right.
And that's not what it is. And so if you think that the environment you're in is not the right environment, you're wrong. You just have to really take time to assess yourself and commit. That's really the main thing stopping you, your commitment. So I learned that. And I learned that mistakes are your friends. Mistakes are your friend. That is a part of how you grow. That's how you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that something isn't. Cancel those things out of your life, you're in a better position to be more prosperous. And so embrace mistakes. I think John Maxwell said, what mistakes is a different way of doing things. And that's really it, learning that there's a different way. And so once you have that mindset to see that you will fail some things, there's so many successful people, and you look up what's the common denominator. The common denominator is they all had some really rough times. And some of the worst times, the times that make you want to quit, happen just before that $1 billion or $1 million breakthrough. And so just having that commitment to know I will fail will help you stay in the game a lot longer, because it's happening. It's going to happen. Some people may not show up. Some people will let you down, but you will survive it. I think that is what people need to hear and need to know, that you will survive it as long as you stick it out. I don't know if you remember, there's a picture going around on the internet with the guy that's in the mining, and he's digging and digging, trying to find the diamond. And he's like right at the end, and he stops and turns his back, and it's like right there.
Yes.
Right there.
Yes.
It's because he didn't have that mindset that mistakes are a part of the game. The more mistakes you get, the better position you are to really secure your future and not only get to the top, but stay there.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the picture you're referring to is referring to the story of 3 Feet from Goal in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
I keep hearing that book. I got to read that.
Oh, yes. Greatest book ever written, I believe. And it's and let me say that just because I know you may be some Christians out there listening, says he said that's the greatest book ever. The Bible. I'm an ordained minister, and I get it. I understand it. I'm not talking. The Bible's in a class by itself, so you don't refer to other books with the Bible. So I just want to make sure that you know. So when you go to church Sunday, don't go jump on your pants and say, I heard this preacher say. Okay, so um, I'm saying outside of the Bible, that I
Mhm.
believe that Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is the best book ever written. So go and check it out.
Yes.
I'm telling you, if you read it and you adapt the principles that he teaches in this book, it's going to change your life. If it doesn't change your life, it's because you didn't change,
Wow.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, all right. So Pastor Buddy, I know that you have a mastermind coming up, and
Yes.
so
Yes.
let's tell us a little bit about that mastermind and how can people get registered for that.
Listen, my brothers and sisters, I am going to be trying my first mastermind. I am going to do this thing. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a couple of people and I'm going to reach out to a couple of people. And some of you have already received some notifications already. But what we'll be doing is coming together and we're going to be discussing for about 5 weeks. Once again, 5 weeks for 1 hour. It'll be on Zoom. You'll have to register to be connected into the room, but we're going to be talking about from stuck to significance.
Mm,
And what we're going to be discussing is ways we can change the way we think so that we never are stuck again. Okay. And so it's going to be online, and we want you to get registered. Call your friends, call your buddy. If you got to call the cockroaches, call them all. Call everybody. Come on. Tell everybody to come. Everybody come, but if we get at least 5 or 10 people, 3 or 4 is good too. We can all come together and let's talk about how we can make ourselves better. You can go
yeah.
to my website at each1reachonelife.com, or you can email me at pastorbuddy@each1reachonelife.com. And you're going to go to an e-speakers page. Or if you just would email me, I'll send you the information so that you can get registered. All right. I look forward to seeing you guys and just connecting. But I need to say something real quick before you go, Brother Cedrick.
Mhm.
About 3 years ago, I think I had the opportunity of listening to one of your. This is recently that I listened to it, but it was something that you said 3 years ago, and what you said was this: it said, uh, "Goals that are not written are only dreams."
Mhm.
You said that, and I have had that written down for a long time. And it's strange that after a long time, I finally come in contact with the person that I heard it from, which was
Wow.
kind of a strange connection that when you called me and said, well, you didn't call me, you sent me a message saying you wanted me to be on the podcast. But I had come across that on your page. And it was, I say it was by accident, but I think it was God sent. But
Sure.
but I've had that written down, and I've been writing things down, and this is a culmination. The mastermind is a culmination of that action, in the sense that I had to write down a date that I wanted to start,
Mm.
because I kept trying to think of all the things that I need to fix before I get started.
Mm.
And
Right.
it just so happened that that statement popped up into my mind. So I want to say thank you. You don't know how you're touching people beyond this podcast, but you are. You're doing a wonderful job, and I appreciate you. And I don't know if that was the right time for me to say that, but I'm gonna say it
It
anyway.
was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in fact, I was doing a leadership, aspiring leaders training just today before I came here. I was at a local high school with their leadership team, the school's leadership team, and the thing I said right before we ended the session today was we're going to be working on some goals in our upcoming sessions, and we're going to write them down because people who write their goals down are significantly more successful at reaching their goals than people who never write their goals down.
Wow.
So it's amazing that this comes right back up again today. Thank you very much for coming on the show and for saying that. And I'm glad the power of those words are reaching people out there. So, Ms. Hall, tell us and tell the audience before we go, how can people stay in contact with you?
Well, you can definitely find me on LinkedIn every day. LinkedIn is definitely where I share. I share it on Facebook as well and Instagram. I do a life lesson every week that really is my gift to the world. Leadership is beyond just a workspace, right? It's in our faith, it's in our personal connections and relationships we have. And so I put that out there. It's always a way of encouragement, a way of discussion, and a thought-provoking moment to think about, the lessons that we have in life and how they're connected to how we lead. So you can find me there every week, every day, pretty much. You can find me on Facebook. I also have an Instagram page, Tiersa Hall. If you search that, you'll find me on all of those platforms. You can find me also on my professional page, John C. Maxwell Group /Tiersa Hall. And it would be an honor and excitement to connect with you that way. I'm finishing up now. We're halfway through a young leadership master group session, and we're about to start a next one early in the year. But I didn't mention, and I want to just mention it while we're wrapping up, that one of my niche areas is supporting parents that have children, living with autism. And so we're looking at launching soon a podcast for that will really connect those career parents with, tools that they need beyond just autism support, but also leadership support in areas in which they can grow and life. And supporting that. So you can stay tuned to that just by following any of those platforms. Happy to connect, happy to coach, happy to speak at any engagement needed. I'm here to be that vessel and to add value wherever I can.
Well, that is awesome. Well, I want to thank both of you for agreeing to come on Talk Leadership with Cedrick, and hopefully you and your audience benefited from this. Folks, I have put in the comments the link to register for Pastor Buddy's mastermind. So just click the link and boom, you can go in and register. I've also put in the comments Mrs. Hall website, so you can click on that and go to her website and stay in contact with her. And know that every day, folks, when you meet someone new, they come into your life for a reason to help bring something new, different, and uplifting to you, to add value to you. And that's what Pastor Buddy did today, and Ms. Tiersa Hall as well. Now, remember, Talk Leadership with Cedrick happens on Monday night at 6:30 Central Time, Tuesday night at 5:30 Central Time, and Thursday we have Talk Leadership with Cedrick, the Thursday edition, at 5:30 Central Time. On Wednesday, remember to catch us at noon Central Time, myself and Miss Joanna Rincon, for Cut the Cord, where we help you cut the cord that's holding you down, holding you back, so that you can go to a higher level. Friday morning at 8:30 Central Time, make sure you get up bright and early for Friday Mental Motivation. You know we're going to bring you 15 minutes of pain to help you understand how to end your week strong and start your weekend off with a great word and motivation. We're going to be here short, quick, fast, and in a hurry to get you going. Folks, we understand and know that the only difference between ordinary and extraordinary is extra. And look, folks who are in the education world, I know the word is extraordinary. I don't like that word. I like extraordinary. Now, the only difference between winning and losing is belief. The only difference between hot water and boiling water is 1 degree. You see, at 211 degrees, water is hot. At 212 degrees, it boils. With boiling water comes steam. With steam, you can power a train. The only difference between a person reaching their full potential and not reaching their full potential is desire. So I want to make sure that you have this all-encompassing, pulsating desire to go to another level. That's the only way you can go from ordinary to extraordinary. So I'm asking you to challenge you to put a little extra in your life. And before I leave, I always tell you, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, and don't be on the menu. Thank you guys, and have a good night.